Daxon Recaps channel is here again. Thanks for tuning in to watch my videos. So let's get right into it. In the 18th century, young Barnabas Collins lived a privileged life with his wealthy family in Collinsport, a seaside town founded by his father. The Collins family prospered, owning a grand mansion called Collinwood and a thriving fishing business. As Barnabas grew into a man, he had a secret affair with a maid named Angelique. However, when Angelique confessed her love and proposed marriage, Barnabas rejected her, not sharing the same feelings. Consumed by rage, Angelique, who was secretly a powerful witch, vowed to ruin him. Using dark magic, she orchestrated the deaths of Barnabas's parents. When Barnabas discovered her involvement, he began studying the occult, hoping to understand the forces he was up against. During this time, Barnabas fell deeply in love with a woman named Josette, who reciprocated his affections. But Angelique could not tolerate their happiness. She used her sorcery to possess Josette and lured her to Widow's Hill, a notorious cliff where many had met their demise. Despite Barnabas's desperate attempts to save her, Josette leaped to her death. Grief-stricken, Barnabas tried to follow her, but Angelique cursed him, turning him into a vampire, condemning him to an eternal existence of suffering. Realizing that Barnabas would never be hers, Angelique revealed his vampiric nature to the townspeople, inciting fear and anger. The people captured Barnabas, locked him inside a coffin, and buried him deep in the forest, ensuring he would never rise again. 2 centuries later, in 1972, a young woman named Victoria made her way to Collinwood Mansion. She bore an uncanny resemblance to Josette. Upon arriving, she was greeted by Willie, a servant, and introduced to Elizabeth Collins, the current matriarch of the Collins family. Elizabeth had hired Victoria as a governess for her nephew, David, a boy who frequently claimed to see and speak with his deceased mother. Victoria also met Carolyn, Elizabeth's rebellious daughter, and Roger, David's father, who was skeptical of his son's supernatural encounters. That night, while settling into her room, Victoria encountered a ghostly figure draped in white. She initially dismissed it as David playing tricks, but when she pulled back the cloth, she saw the spirit of Josette, who whispered cryptically, "He is coming." Meanwhile, at a construction site, workers unknowingly unearthed a buried coffin and, out of curiosity, opened it. This act unleashed Barnabas, who had been trapped for 200 years. Weak from starvation, he attacked and drained the workers, regaining his strength. He then made his way to Collinwood, where he encountered Willie and hypnotized him into servitude. Barnabas, desperate to find out if his family still existed, was relieved to learn that the Collins family name had survived. Upon entering the mansion, he met David and Carolyn. Carolyn, suspicious of his strange appearance, dismissed him as a wandering drunk, but David noticed something eerie. An old painting on the wall depicted Barnabas himself. When questioned, Barnabas smirked and remarked, "I stood for hours posing for that portrait." Elizabeth arrived soon after, doubting Barnabas's claim that he was a long-lost relative. To prove his identity, Barnabas led her to a secret passage hidden beneath the mansion, revealing a chamber filled with treasures. Stunned by this knowledge, Elizabeth finally believed him. Barnabas then confessed his true nature. He was a vampire, but vowed that no harm would come to his family. As Barnabas reintegrated into the family, he learned that the Collins fishing business was on the verge of collapse. A woman named Angie had taken control of the industry, monopolizing it under her company, Angel Bay Seafood. Recognizing her as none other than Angelique, the same witch who had cursed him, Barnabas was determined to restore his family's former glory. Using his supernatural abilities, he charmed local suppliers, persuading them to support the Collins family business once more. Meanwhile, Victoria and Barnabas grew closer, and despite her initial hesitation, she began to develop feelings for him. Dr. Julia Hoffman, a psychiatrist hired to help David, soon became suspicious of Barnabas's unusual behavior. In a private session, she hypnotized him and uncovered his secret: he was a vampire. Confronting Elizabeth, Julia demanded answers, but Elizabeth insisted Barnabas was no threat. Julia, intrigued by the possibility of immortality, convinced Barnabas to let her conduct an experiment to cure him. She claimed that replacing his vampire blood with human blood could restore his mortality. However, Barnabas later discovered Julia's true intentions. She had been injecting his blood into herself in an attempt to gain eternal life. Enraged by her betrayal, he killed her and disposed of her body with Willie's help. As Barnabas tried to adapt to modern society, he sought Carolyn's advice on how to charm Victoria. However, his efforts were interrupted when Angelique confronted him, revealing that she knew he had returned. She offered him a deal. If he abandoned his business and joined her, she would let him live in peace. But Barnabas refused, reigniting her fury. To retaliate, she destroyed his newly revived business and orchestrated his capture once again. Using powerful magic, she sealed him inside a chained coffin and hid it in a remote forest. However, David, guided by his mother's spirit, found and freed him. Angelique, now fully consumed by vengeance, exposed Barnabas's crimes to the town, revealing his confession to Julia's murder. She led an angry mob to Collinwood, intending to see him destroyed. Barnabas, accepting his fate, declared, "I'm ready to face punishment, but my family is innocent." In a final act of defiance, he bit Angelique's neck, attempting to drain her power. However, to his horror, she remained unaffected, proving that she, too, was something beyond human. A brutal battle ensued. Caroline, revealing herself as a werewolf, attacked Angelique, but the witch's magic was too strong. In the chaos, Angelique confessed to every atrocity she had committed, killing Barnabas's parents, cursing his family, and even causing the deaths of David's mother and Gisette. David's mother's spirit intervened, launching a final attack on Angelique. As a massive chandelier crashed onto her, Angelique lay dying. Pulling out her own heart, she offered it to Barnabas, hoping he would finally accept her. But he refused. With her last breath, Angelique disintegrated into dust. However, before her death, she had one last act of cruelty. She possessed Victoria, compelling her to throw herself from Widow's Hill. Barnabas, realizing what had happened, rushed to save her. Victoria, with tears in her eyes, declared, "I want to be with you forever. But that is only possible if I become like you." Before Barnabas could stop her, she leapt from the cliff. In a desperate attempt to save her, Barnabas followed and bit her neck mid-fall, turning her into a vampire before they hit the ground. Now, bound by immortality, Victoria and Barnabas could finally be together for eternity. As their story seemed to reach its end, a final scene beneath the ocean revealed something ominous: Drive. Julia's lifeless body. Suddenly, her eyes opened, glowing with an eerie light, hinting that her story was far from over. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more, and put down your comments below to let me know what you think about this recap story. Give this video a thumbs up and share for others too to enjoy. And see you on my next recap. Bye for now.